that you're dreaming about, and other musical instruments. So I will see you December 11, December 12, Saturday, Sunday for the legendary 2-day Christmas sale. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. 20% off. 1:01 p.m. to 4 p.m. 30% off. 4:01 p.m. to 8 p.m. 40% off. 8:01 p.m. to mall closing. 50% off. All the items in all 10 stores are on sale. Taylor Guitars, 10% off all day long. The sale extends to online sale through Shopee and Lazada, and the same time frame and discounts apply. Strictly no reservations. Cash, credit cards, PayMaya, home credit, and GCash are accepted. So get ready to have a beautiful and happy Christmas. Be there for the 2-day Christmas sale of RJ Guitar Center, December 11 and December 12. If you want to check out the items ahead, go to www.rjguitarcenter.com.
For DTI Fair Trade Permit number FTEB-130818, series of 2021.
You can now listen to RJFM and DZRJ 810 AM from wherever you are. Just type in RJ 100.3 FM on TuneIn Radio, Streama, Radio Garden, and just type in RJFM for online box radio. For DZRJ 810 AM, just type in DZRJ 810 AM on TuneIn Radio, Streama, and Radio Garden. Happy listening! You are watching the multi-awarded Radio Bandido TV on Channel 224 Sky Cable and TV Plus boxes. Simulcast on DZRJ 810 AM. Informing, advising, and entertaining the Filipinos and OFWs around the world. Streaming live on www.facebook.com/DZRJ 810 AM or on YouTube, channel RJAM News. To all Teleradio Bandido viewers and listeners, you can now watch Teleradio Bandido on our new YouTube channel, RJAM News. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified when a new video gets uploaded. Don't miss out on our dynamite lineup.
Lahat dahil kasangga mo ang langit.
SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. Programang tatalakay sa kapangyarihan ng serbisyo sibil. SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. Programang hihimay sa kapangyarihan ng pamalang lokal. SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. Programang maglalapit sa pamalan at mamamayan. SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. Kikilos ang barangay para sa bayan. Edukasyon, kalusugan, trapiko, basura at iba pa. SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. Tatalakay sa mga problemang napapanahon, problemang hahanapan ng solusyon. At ngayon, ang inyong mga lingkod, De Leon Gomez. SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado. This program is supported by the National Kidney and Transplant Institute, the Philippine Red Cross, Parenting Foundation, and the Metro Manila Council.
Good afternoon. Today is Friday. Today we are not fearful because it is the end of the work week and we can decide what will make us happy this weekend. We need to be especially thankful for the past 4 days because we have wonderful memories to remember and celebrate life. Be thankful as well for tomorrow, hoping against hope that our wishes will be fulfilled somehow. Today, our guest is someone more than the usual. Not SSS, but someone super special. I refer to James Jimenez from Comelec, and we are happy that he is responding to our invitation here in SOS, where are committed, unstoppable in a very real sense, seizing, unwavering, and unstoppable the Red Cross way here in SOS. And I understand our guest is here already. Mahabang talakayan to, pero babasahin ko muna ang message ni Chief Justice Hilarion Davide Jr., who was also COMELEC chairman once upon a time. He wrote, "Today is Friday, the 3rd of December, the Advent month, as we with overflowing hope prepare for and await the birth of our Savior Jesus. Let us at all times have a loving heart. Only a heart that loves without measure, gives without counting the cost, forgives with mercy and compassion, sees in the dark and thinks amidst confusion and chaos, then can be a loving heart. Let us all have never permit us to be separate from Him." At tamang-tama, ito ang message din para kay ating bisita na ako'y natutuwa na makakaroon tayo ng pagkakataon na ma-interview siya dahil marami tayong mga katanungang inihanda para kay James Jimenez. Thank you very much, James. I'm sorry we had a bit of confusion yesterday, pero mahalaga na available ka ngayon. Your greetings first, no? Kasi may mga nakaline up akong guide questions, pero how are you? How is your job now? More difficult? Kasi medyo ang daming naglalaban-laban, hindi tayo two-party system, no? Di ba? Mas madali yung two-party, alam mo kung sino yung naglalaban.
Opo.
Go ahead, James. Paki-update kami ng what is the status ngayon ng inyong ginagawa sa COMELEC. Where are you now in the COMELEC? Yung mga things that you have to undertake? Go ahead. Pwede ako na muna magtatanong, ano? Guide question sa iyo.
Yes po, magandang hapon po at maraming salamat sa pagkakataon.
Thank you. Compared to 2016 presidential and national elections, how many registered voters are participating in this next year's election? Do you have the data? Nawala. James?
Okay,
go ahead.
Meron po. In these elections, we have... Yes, ma'am. Hello po.
Yes,
hello.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Pero I don't have your view. Wait
in these
tayo.
elections, we have...
Go ahead. We can hear you.
We have 65 million... We have 65 million voters
65 million
for
voters?
elections as compared to around 50. Yes, ma'am.
Of this
65.
number, ito na
59.
yung new voters, naka-register na. James?
Kasama na po dyan yung voters
New voters
natin,
and the old voters.
Natin.
Kasi ako, old voter,
Yes,
nagpa-register ako. Last year, di ako nakaboto. The last election, di ako nakaboto. So, ngayon, makakaboto ba ako? Registered na ako?
Kailan ho kayo huling bumoto?
Yung last election, di ako nakaboto. Yung previous election to the last one.
Ang batayan dito ay nakaboto ba kayo ng barangay elections noong 2018?
Barangay election.
Kasi kung nakaboto kayo ng barangay elections,
pwede.
so baka baka deactivated po kayo.
So there's no more time to be activated. Ganun ba?
Right now, ma'am, wala na po.
Wala na, because
po.
natapos na. Well, anyway,
Yes po.
mahirap naman talaga. Pero siguro, ito bang number na sinabi mo dito, many are new voters na registered. Ilan dito ang new voters? Doon sa sinabi mong number na 65 million?
65 million po.
Yes. How
Ang
many
new
of them
voters po
are,
natin is around 6 million.
So, ang ngayon, medyo may kaguluhan kasi how will the campaign sorties, election day look like under the new normal? Kasi alam natin na may problema pa tayo with the pandemic eh. Anong reminder mo sa mga kandidato?
Sa mga kandidato po, very important po na ina-allow natin ang in-person campaigning, pero
Yes.
kailangan manatili sila within the limits prescribed by the COMELEC. No? Ibig sabihin, meron tayong limitasyon sa dami ng taong pwede mag-attend sa kanilang mga campaign. And in fact,
Pero
we're
makokontrol
encouraging
nyo ba
everyone
yun?
to
Kasi
instead
oo,
campaign
parang
online.
ang feeling ko hindi makokontrol because I have seen the campaign trail of Yorme at talagang lahat ng puntahan niya ay maraming tao na lumalapit sa kanya. Hindi ba dapat merong kapulisan na to put order in the sorties? Ano sa palagay mo?
Well, I think ma'am dapat unang-una dapat unang-una yung mga nangangampanya sila mismo ang
Provide.
maintain ng order dyan. Ang hirap naman kasi ng sinasabi lahat ng ibang tao, ang panitalihing maayos ang kampanya, dapat pangunahing responsibilidad yan nung nangangampanya, hindi nung ibang tao, no? Will there be enforcement? Yes, there will be law enforcement. We will have the barangay tanods in place. We will have the police in place as well. Pero ultimately, it will boil down to the individual responsibility of the candidates to keep on giving them a free pass. Yan po ang hirap sa atin eh. Ang sa atin kasi, palagi natin tinatanong, naku, itong kandidato, naku, madaming supporter yan. Paano mo sasawatahin? Bakit kailangan sawatahin? Bakit hindi yung kandidato mismo ang magkusa? Remember, nasa pandemya po tayo. Dapat alam nila that they are endangering the lives of people. So they should be the ones taking responsibility. They're going to ask everyone for their vote. They're going to ask to be given power over us. The least they can do.
Pero very limited kasi ang hirap sa barangay mo aasahan. Mahirap kasi of course, hindi naman guaranteed na maraming tao doon sa pagpunta ng kandidato na yung mga tao na yun bumoto sa kandidatong nakakampanya. There's no guarantee, di ba? Pwede yung gusto lang nila magparitrato and therefore buy nila na napupunta doon ng kandidato. Kasi sa akin...
Absolutely, ma'am.
So ang feeling ko is that ang mga tao should make a decision na parang na ang mga tao themselves should not allow themselves na to behave in the manner, shape, or form na nangyayari sa mga kampanya. Kasi yung iba namang kampanya talagang orderly. Bakit? Dahil talagang limitado lang ang pinapaupo. Siyempre, pag pinapaupo mo, hindi lahat makakaupo. Di ba? So, depende sa situation. Ito, ang tanong, Mandaluyong, DILG appeal to candidates to refrain from holding political parties amid the threats of Omicron variant in the first place. Why should DILG appeal? Hindi po ba alam ng mga kandidato na hindi pa ito panahon ng kampanya? It's a good question.
Yes. Tama po yan. Agree po dyan. Ang ginagawa ng DILG ay ayaw maging responsable. No? Tama po yung tanong nyo. Bakit kailangan mag-appeal? Dapat hindi na eh. Kasi dapat alam ng mga kandidato na sa campaign period lang sila dapat mangangampanya. Kaso, meron po tayong malaking loophole sa batas na nagsasabi na kahit gawin nila ngayon yan, hindi sila mapaparusahan. Kaya, they're taking advantage of the situation.
Pero siguro ang message din dito sa mga tao to refrain yung kung bawal pa ngayon, there must be other forums. Mas gusto ko talaga yung nakakapagsalita yung mga kandidato na sinasabi kung ano yung platform, kung ano yung programa. But this is not yet the time, di ba? Kailan pa pwede silang magsalita para sa kanyang platform? Anong schedule ng campaign?
Pwede, ang tamang panahon po ay magsisimula ng February 8 para sa national candidates at March 25 para sa local candidates. No? Next year. So, hindi.
So right now, mangyayari lang mga TV ads, di ba? Kasama ba dito ang TV ads?
Yes po, ginagawa na nila. Ginagawa na po nila yan. Yes.
Pero ano ang COMELEC ruling dito? Kasi importante paano masusunod ang COMELEC ruling. Ano ang ruling ninyo tungkol dito?
Ganon din po. Wala pang pagbabawal sa ngayon. Wala pa rin pong pagbabawal sa ngayon. Lahat po ng pagbabawal.
Inalis?
So, ganun pa rin po.
Inalis?
Yes po. Yes po. Inalis na po ng batas po.
So, even now, pwede na talaga mangampanya, ganun ba? Is that what you're saying?
Yun po. Pwede na mangampanya dahil hindi na... Yes po. That's exactly what I'm saying, ma'am.
Oo. So, kasi ang mga kandidato ngayon should have, kumbaga, a greater reach. Kasi hindi mo naman mabibisita all of the 45,000 barangays natin. And therefore, kailangan pipili lang sila ng mga lugar na either vote rich o kaya where they have a following. Na alam nilang pag pumunta sila doon, may excite yung mga tao dahil binisita sila, dahil talagang pabor sila sa kandidato. Yun ang pananaw ko. Palagi ko sinasabi, in a democracy, there are many voices. Ang unang voice na gusto kong makita ay boses ng mga mamamayan na mag-allow natin na sila magtanong sa mga kandidato ano yung programa nila na masasabi lang, masasatisfy yung mga voters na ito yung gusto kong marinig sa kandidato. Parang wala yatang ganung measure na yung mga tao nagsasabi kung anong gusto nilang marinig. Is that what is your thinking on this, James?
I completely agree, ma'am. I completely agree. Tama po yung opinion ninyo and I wish a lot more people believe as you do.
Yeah. Well, I remember nagkaroon tayo ng isang taga-civil service dati, si Attorney Fetalino, Evelyn Fetalino, who became a spokesperson in the election, I think during the time of President Ramos, but she was not confirmed. Nung manalo na si Presidente Ramos, o natalo na, tapos ng termino ng Presidente Ramos, hindi siya in-appoint ni Presidente Estrada. Pero ang feeling ko, that was a good campaign because you are like you, a spokesperson who can clarify lahat ng issues. Kasi you have been very effective, James, sa pag-appear mo sa lahat ng mga forums at saka mga TV stations na kailangan talagang palawakin, marating talaga paratingin sa mga tao kung anong batas tungkol dito. Di ba? Meron ba pagbabago sa pagpalit ng mga kandidato katulad ni Bongo? Tama ba yung kanyang ginawa? Na nag-file siya ng kandidatura tapos mag-withdraw siya? Tama ba yun?
Well.
Go ahead.
Well, allowed po yan, Secretary, no? Allowed siya. Pero kung sa tama o mali, well, definitely, marami nagrereklamo dyan sa ginoso yung election system. Ang nangyayari, parang napaglalaroan yung ating elections, no? So maraming uncomfortable dyan. Pero kung legal or hindi, unfortunately, it is perfectly legal at this point.
Yeah. Well, I think he is fearful na at this point in time, there is no telling whether there is likelihood na mananalo siya kasi talagang hindi pa masyadong alam ng mga tao what he can do. With the limited time, he had mainly worked with President Duterte. But ito si Aida Salazar Bulacan, may mga kandidato po na ginagamit ang pandemya para mamahagi ng pera. Ano po ang stand ng COMELEC dito? Ayuda or vote buying? Napakagandang question, Aida, sa yung tanong.
Well, kung ako lang,
Mamahagi
kung
ng
ako
pera.
tatanungin, vote buying po yan. Kung ako po tatanungin, vote buying yan. Malinaw na malinaw naman.
Vote buying
Nag-iisip lang namimigay ng pera patungkol dahil lamang yan, di ba? Kasi kung pandemya lang talaga yan, di dapat matagal na silang namimigay. Kaso namimigay sila ngayon eh. And obviously, they're running for office, etc. So, malinaw naman na vote buying yan. Opo. Unfortunately, again, hindi pa po campaign period. So, hindi pa sila pwedeng masita dyan. Paulit-ulit nating sasabihin, election rules that apply to them will apply only at the start of the campaign period. So, wala tayong magagawa.
Kasi ang problema dito, yung tanong ko, how will the campaign sorties election day look like under the new normal? Kasi may mga ibang hindi naman pa basta lumalabas dahil syempre, lalo na with the Omicron, maraming natatakot na lumabas pa. At sa halip na mag-enjoy na sa labas, ayaw pa because dinagdagan ng takot. And I think that will be valuable dahil parang ang iisipin ng mga tao is safety. Di ba?
Well, sana po, no, ang definite dito is that we are online, no? Gusto natin online campaign katulad itong ginagawa natin na online tayo. So
Yes.
gusto natin i-encourage 'yan. Pagdating sa botohan, in-person voting pa rin po dahil hindi naman nakapagpasa ng alternate modes of voting ang Kongreso eh. So wala po tayong ganyan. In-person pa rin.
Pero do you think yung total na 65 million, do you anticipate that those 65 million will be able to vote or siguro on average yan baka 80%? In the past, ano yung data ninyo? Anong performance ng COMELEC yan? Out of the total number of voters,
ang
potential
estimate-
voters. Ha? Yes. Anong estimate nyo?
Ang estimate po natin is we'll probably have around 80%. 80%.
Okay. So if you have 65 potential voters, 80% of that, is that correct? How many percent? How many percent?
That's correct, ma'am.
Okay. So in other words,
80%, ma'am. 80%. So that's
80,
around
correct. Parang
40.
nawawala yung 20%, no? Dahil likely those people will not vote, will not have a chance to vote, or decide na not to vote. Ang sa akin particularly challenged are the senior citizens. Dahil it is very difficult to go out and it's likely baka yung 20% na yun may mostly coming from senior citizens or persons with disabilities. Anong estimate mo? Anong thinking mo dyan? Yun
Well,
lang ang ano ko.
Opo. Meron kaming tinatawag na accessible polling place.
Yes.
Ito ay polling place na specifically designed for PWDs and senior citizens para mas madalian sila sa pagboto.
Ako naman, I would like the candidates to firm up their positions regarding how to help the senior citizens and the persons with disabilities. Kasi dapat ang platform, maliwanag na maliwanag, what will happen to those people who may likely not be able to vote and yet they deserve to be considered in their platforms. Yun ang nakikita ko na wala akong masyadong narinig ano gagawin sa mga senior citizens at saka persons with disabilities. What do you think, James?
Well, to be fair, to be fair, Secretary, wala ka naman talagang naririnig na plataforma kahit ano eh. Sa ngayon, napaka-konti ng nagplataforma para sa
Yeah. Very limited o very general.
Isang kakulangan ng sistema natin.
Oo. Ang nakikita ko is that like kami, ang advocacy namin sa health justice.
Yes.
Yung
At sila,
go ahead. Kasi sa health justice, ang gusto namin, yung mga kandidatong mag-make ng statement how they will support yung anti-smoking campaign sa kanilang mga syudad kung local government sila. Na yun na nakikita kong, I guess, as a citizen, very important na marinig natin sa mga kandidato ano yung kanilang pananaw tungkol certain issues. Katulad ni Inday Garcia Montelupa, ang mga kababayan po namin ay very emotional and politically attached given the gravity of the country's challenge. Do we still have enough time to educate the voters? Good question. May panahon pa tayo to educate the voters? Good question.
Again, the voters should educate themselves. No, all of these people who are always online and wailing about one thing or another, maybe they should direct their energies towards learning more about the candidates, learning more about the way the country works. Kasi po, ang problema, nagiging tagisan tayo ng mga grupo ng supporter lang eh, rather than individual Filipinos who are learning about the issues. What we have is a competition of different supporters, and that's not really very productive.
Yeah, I agree with you, but that's why in our program, I hope we will be able to have a way of measuring the candidates by inviting them, and if they are really good candidates for whatever level, ma-articulate nila kung anong position nila on certain issues. That is why ako paniniwala ko, pwedeng tanungin sila, ano yung issue nino tungkol sa ganito? And therefore, given that opportunity to raise the level of awareness on the issues, madidiscern ng mga tao kung sino talaga yung dapat manalo dahil naniniwala sila sa posisyon ng particular candidate na yun. Ang kailangan siguro parang voters forum na the COMELEC would indicate ano ang dapat sabihin sa voters forum. What do you think? Yun ang gusto kong marinig. I mean, we can work in partnership with COMELEC. Example, ako, naniniwala ako.
Magkakaroon po kami.
Go ahead.
Magkakaroon po tayo ng debates. Magsusponsor po ang COMELEC ng presidential at vice presidential debates precisely for that purpose, no? Para marinig natin yung kanilang mga plataforma at makita natin how do they think on their feet. You know, yan ang importante. Meron ba silang kakayanan na mag-respond sa mga mahihirap na tanong? So that's something that we're looking forward to po, and we hope to have that rolling by next year.
Parang ito, challenging ito, no? Ang tanong, from Luis Castro of Quezon City, from the COMELEC standpoint, ano po ba talaga ang karakter na dapat meron ng isang kandidato? Wow, that's very challenging, James. Anong sagot natin dyan? Ano yung dapat na karakteristik ng kandidato?
Hindi po kami nagpe-prescribe ng characteristics ng kandidato dahil pag nangyari na yung kandidato mo ay hindi umuswak. Hindi umiswak sa characteristics natin, ibig sabihin biased kami, no? Ultimately nasa botante po 'yan. Ang importante lang, sinasabi lang namin sa kanila is that dapat pipili ka nung kandidato na katugma mo ang values. No, you have to share the same values as the candidate because otherwise how can they represent you?
Ako nga sinasabi ko na dahil we are a democracy, maraming boses. Pero kailangan marinig ang boses ng mga mamamayan anong hinahanap nila sa isang mabuting pamahalaan. And therefore, so when can we have the official list of candidates from Johnny Gomez naman ito? Kailan magiging available
We expect
official list? When?
we
When?
expect the official list of candidates to be released by around December 15, thereabouts, Secretary.
Yeah. Thank you, no? Kasi ako naman, ang pinupush ko, kung pwede, na in terms of the senators, I'd like to find out sino ang senators coming from Mindanao, sino coming from Visayas, sino coming from NCR, and sino coming from Metro Manila. Obviously, sa NCR and Metro Manila, pinakamadami. Kasi konti lang sa Mindanao at lalong ko konti sa Visayas. No? So medyo may may lamang na yung mga kandidato coming from those areas. The reason I'm raising that is that napaka-importante that they represent a region. Even if they're senators, they already can articulate the concerns of the particular region, like Mindanao. If they are underrepresented, ngayon kung tatlo ang tatakbo from Mindanao, tatlong Visayas, tatlo sa Metro Manila, at saka tatlo sa NCR, you will actually have 12. So, pinpointed na kung sino itong dapat na iboto. Of course, we're not saying kung sino, pero yung limitation mo sa Mindanao, tatlo lang. Unless, of course, I understand President Duterte is running, has already filed to be senator. So, he will be a fourth in Mindanao. But continue tayo in Visayas, only 3.
Yes po. Unfortunately, yes po. Unfortunately, hindi po tayo hindi po regional ang pagboto natin ng senador, no? We vote senators at large. So maganda yung strategy na in-outline nyo. Unfortunately, hindi po tayo nakadesenyo na maging ganyan.
Yeah, but I think we need to articulate why it is important to have representation na masasabi natin, may senador tayo sa Mindanao, may senador tayo sa Visayas, sa Metro Manila, and sa Of course, madi-disenfranchise yung lugar ng region na maraming kandidato na malalakas yung mga senador coming from a particular region like Mindanao and Visayas. I see that kung limited ang mga taga roon. Pero syempre, hindi naman lahat ng senators na kandidato sa Manila had their roots also in the region like Mindanao. Kaya kailangan malaman ano ang roots nila para matulungan. Ito naman si Levi Tuazo ng Mandaluyong. Is COMELEC an active participant of IATF? In my opinion, magandang move sana po ito para masiguro na susundin ng mga kandidato ang ruling ng
An
commission.
active participant of ano po?
Sa IATF. May papel ba kayo sa IATF para masiguro na susundin ng mga kandidato ang ruling ng komisyon?
Ma'am, sorry, hindi ko pa naintindihan.
Oo. Kung meron daw kayong participation sa IATF. Coordinate, yes.
Hindi po kami part ng IATF, but we coordinate with them regularly. So alam natin ang gagawin nila at alam nila ang gagawin namin. But we are not officially a part of the IATF.
Yeah. Pero you can draw information from IATF that can be made available to the public. Kasi ang COMELEC, of course, it's a constitutional commission, and that is why I rely on the COMELEC now to be able to outline to the people what ought to be known by the people. Kaya itong opportunity na ginawa namin for you to be able to articulate sa SOS, Serbisyo, Ora-Mismo, Sigurado, dahil ang serbisyo nyo marireflect sa resulta ng eleksyon. Di ba?
Right.
If the COMELEC did a good job. Di ba?
Well, yes ma'am. Yes ma'am.
I'm sorry dahil I'm pushing you to the wall, pero nakikita ko na magiging mataas ang pananaw ng mga tao sa COMELEC pag it has been proven to have made a credible election. Kasi yun ang palaging issue pag natalo, sasabihin dinaya. And I think it's time we stop that wrong thinking. Maaaring kaya nadaya dahil marunong ng daya yung kandidato. Di ba? From Joshua. Babasahin ko yung kay Joshua Reyes. From Joshua Reyes.
Well, totoo naman po yan. Ganyan naman.
Ano sabi mo?
Ganyan naman po talaga mga kandidato natin. Pag
Pag natalo,
natatalo,
dinaya.
dinaya lang sila, no?
Pero dito, how can
Oo,
COMELEC
ngayon
police
pa nga lang
campaign
hindi pa nga
proliferation
nagsisimula ang
in the
election,
social
dayaan na daw eh.
media? Ito, kaiba ito kasi napaka ng social media, no? Kaya sabi ni Joshua Reyes of Taguig, how can COMELEC police campaign proliferation in the social media? Medyo madaming itinuturo sa COMELEC na pwede sabihin mong hindi na nyo napapilyan, pero mataas ang expectation ng mga tao sa COMELEC. Anong sa palagay mo? What else can you do to make the people believe that you can do something about the situation?
Um, well, and in fact, the last elections since automation have all been upheld many times.
Yeah.
Walang basis to say na hindi malinis ang halalan natin, except yung narrative ng mga natatalo.
Yes.
Yung mga natatalo kasi, they're always on media, they're always on the air, and people who don't know better tend to believe them. But in reality, from 2010, 2013, 16, 19, lahat ng elections na yan have all stood up to the strict scrutiny all the way up to the Supreme Court. Meaning to say, fortunately, again, nabibiktima tayo ng narrative. Now, people now, I'd like to point out, wala pa mang eleksyon, are already falling all over themselves to accuse the COMELEC of cheating. And that's happening on both sides. This has not happened before. Right? So, both sides are accusing the COMELEC of cheating because both are afraid of losing. And that's the problem. No? If you have a situation, if you have an environment like that, where all of the players repeatedly tell their followers that the COMELEC will cheat, the COMELEC stands no chance of deflecting that sort of nonsense. No, again, because both sides do it. That's the problem. Because both sides are willing to undermine everything. The credibility of the election system. Ironically, the system that they will rely on in order to win, they are willing to undermine that just to gain a few political points. Yan po ang toxic na environment natin ngayon eh. And it's unfortunate, but it's a product of the partisanship.
Yeah. Pero I can understand that the difficulty present conditions obtaining mahirap talaga. I worry about the COMELEC being judged, being partisan, being judged na kapag ang resulta is not favorable to particular candidates, they will always claim na dinaya o nagkaroon ng faux pas dun sa election na yun. Tapos from Berting Ilustre, Puerto Misamis Oriental, sabi niya, bakit po matagal ang nagiging design? Teka, sandali lang, I will get it. No? Bakit po nagiging matagal ang nagiging desisyon kapag may mga electoral protests? Kung minsan po kasi patapos na ang term bago napapalitan. Wala naman siguro sa COMELEC yung problema na yon. Nasa korte yon, di ba? James? Yung issue sa mga kaso, that's not the COMELEC anymore, is that? Tinatanong bakit ang tagal makadesisyon? Ang COMELEC ba ang magdidesisyon? I'm sure may yung mga protesta, may mga korte yan eh, di ba?
Wala po. Opo, ang mga protesta po ay dinidesisyonan sa lower courts.
Yes. Kung saan, kung anong level, no? Oo. So, dapat, ang magpapabilis ng mga kaso na yun ay nasa korte at whatever level. Is that correct? Kasi nagbibigay lang tayo
yung mga trial courts po. Tama po yan. Tama po.
Kasi nagbibigay lang tayo ng impormasyon na hindi COMELEC ang issue dito. Ang issue dito yung pagbigay ng interpretation sa batas ng mga lower courts, no? And therefore hindi COMELEC yan. Susundin ng COMELEC kung anong maging decision ng batas. ng mga
Tama po.
korte. Tama?
Tama po.
Well, ako, ang feeling ko, para akong nagiging spokesman para sa COMELEC. Kasi yung mga, kasi yung mga tanong ko, naniniwala ako na kailangan marinig ng mga tao talaga. Yung mga, dapat na marinig ng mga tao. Pero tama ka naman, dahil kung magiging epekto ng mga kampanya ngayon ay kaguluhan, it is not fair for the country. Dapat,
Yes po.
walang kaguluhan, maayos, at itong kaayusan na to ay pwede manggaling sa kandidato. Sa aking palagay, malaki ang papel ng kandidato para maayos. Pero minsan, ang mga tao ay uncontrollable na rin. Kasi parang ang feeling nila, pag nabisita sila, importante sila. I am sure yun sa mga lugar na malalayo bago marating, pag napuntahan sila ng kahit na sinong kandidato, eh tuwan-tuwa sila. Dahil usually hindi sila napupuntahan. Ito, hindi mo siguro ito kamag-anak. Alice Jimenez of Malolos. Can we do away of the usual debates? Para po, ayun, ayaw niya ng debate. Sige, tanongin natin. Usual debates. Can we not just focus on the presentation of platforms? Yeah, maganda yan. Yung debate is not really debate among themselves, but presentation of their platforms. Ano sa palagay mo, James? Buy natin yan, di ba, sa COMELEC? Debate, presentation of platform, presentation of governance, how they will govern. And particularly, if they've already performed, ipakita ang kanilang performance. If they have already...
Maganda rin naman po yung idea ng presentation of platforms. Ang problema lang po dyan is that, syempre, kapag ikaw lang ang nagpe-present at hindi ka china-challenge, perfect ang ilalabas mo, di ba? The purpose of the debate is to challenge your presentation, precisely, no? Kasi kung ikaw lang magpe-present at ikaw lang ang nasa entablado, di syempre, napakaganda ng ilalabas mo kasi ikaw nagkikwento niyan. Pero, pag merong challenge sa'yo at merong kumukontra sa'yo at mag-argue ngayon kayo, doon mo makikita sino ang
magaling.
May mas maganda ang pulis.
Kasi yan, galing sa pagsasalita. Di ba?
Magandang plan.
Oo.
No.
Pero tama ka. Pero minsan ang iba are more effective speakers. More effective speakers than others. So, nako-compromise yung hindi masyado magaling magsalita sa debate. Kaya nga, ang usually yung mga nag-graduate sa mga universidad na magaling sa debate, yun ang talagang lumalaban sa mga debate. Pero from June Mariano Ibalio, COMELEC might be credible literally, but Smartmatic, ito, magandang tanong, but Smartmatic has a bad record on election internationally. Sorry, but that's the hardest truth. Pero ngayon, anong credibility issue na hinarap nyo ngayon at sa palagay mo magiging credible ang COMELEC this time? How will COMELEC be more credible than the perception? I'm just saying perception that Smartmatic didn't make you credible. Anong efforts niyo?
Again, Secretary, no? We've been using, no one can point to mali ang bilang. So, the system is trustworthy. Ang yung deliberate at malicious undermining of the credibility. And we will try to address that definitely by replying to everything, no? By explaining every opportunity we get.
I agree, but that's why that must be heard in the entire country, every nook and cranny of the country. Kung pwede nga every week, para kayong IATF, magre-report kayo, ilan ang tinamaan ng pandemya, ilan ang na-issues na in-address ninyo sa mga lugar. Kasi ang reality, may mga probinsya talaga ngayon na halos walang kalaban. Entire family from the councilor to the mayor, puro magkakamag-anak. So parang kamag-anak and company, which you had no control. Kasi ito yung nagpa-file ng candidacy. Pero ang may control dyan are the people themselves who will say, enough is enough. kailan matatapos ang dynastic rules? Kailan matatapos yung wala na bang ibang tao na magaling na should be encouraged to run para masabi natin that we are truly a democracy? Kasi yun ang tanong eh. Paano natin masasabi na democratic tayo when ang mangyayari kung sinong mayaman, kung sino yung popular? I don't mind popularity kasi sa akin palagay, nakaka-articulate sila ng kanilang mga paniniwala at binabay ng mga tao. Kasi at the end of the day, it's what the people believe. It might not be true, pero kung sino man ang lumabas sa eleksyon, will be ang mga tao ang maaaring nagkamali pagboto doon or hindi nila pinag-aralan kung sino talaga ang dapat na iboto. And therefore, this voters' education still comes as primary sa work ng COMELEC sa aking palagay. Between now and election time, ibang barred nyo sila sa voters' education because we are trying to do that. We did that sa aming Justice Cecilia Munoz Palma Foundation. We are doing voters' education. Anong dapat malaman ng mga botante about this coming election? Anong dapat gawin? Anong dapat paghandaan? Anong hindi dapat gawin? Etc. So, you need a lot of NGOs, a lot of the barangays to be able to articulate kung ano ang sabi para bang COMELEC says. Ito yung sinasabi ng COMELEC na dapat natin sundin. So, the voice is in your court to tell us ano yung dapat sabihin sa mga mamamayan. So you think that's possible pero para yung talagang deliberate ang pagpapaalam sa mga voters, anong hindi pwede, ano yung pwede?
With media and patuloy po.
Yeah.
Yes po, ma'am. Oo, meron kaming ongoing voter education programs kung saan kami ay nakikipag-ugnayan sa mga eskwelahan at kami po ay nagtuturo doon, partikular doon sa mga bagong botante, yung mga senior high school students. So talagang tinututukan po natin yan. And again, as I said, we have very regular press briefings para alam ng publiko kung anong nagaganap sa election system natin.
Ako, I'm a dreamer and a visionary. Naniniwala ako na there will come a time when we will do what is right dahil ginawa na natin ang all the preparations necessary to make sure that the elections will be credible, that it is honest, orderly, and peaceful election. Yung honesty, magagawa yan ng COMELEC because huhulihin nyo yung dishonest. Yung orderly, magagawa yan ng kapulisan na hindi magkakagulo, walang patayan. Yung peaceful, kasama diyan komunidad na yan, na we will not allow ng mga sa community, sa mga barangay na merong kaguluhan. Kasi ang isang lugar na nagkaroon ng kaguluhan, kaduda-duda ang magiging resulta ng eleksyon na yun. That is how I see honest, orderly, and peaceful elections. Yun ang aking pananaw dito. And I think it can be done with COMELEC strong position about this. Pero mahalagang ipakilala din natin kung sino mga miyembro ng COMELEC. Sino ba sila? Kasi parang kulang din ang kaalaman ng mga tao kung sino ngayon ang nakaupo sa COMELEC. And maybe you can make that possible. Ipakilala kung sino sila, sa ano naging karanasan nila, bakit sila nasa COMELEC. Pwede kaya yon?
Yes po. Opo, ang una-una, yung aming chairman, si Chairman Sheriff Abbas, no? In-appoint siya dati ni Pangulong Aquino. Siya po ay galing Mindanao. Siya po ay isang career civil servant from before. At napakagaling niya magpalakad ng ahensya namin. Ano? Kasama po niya si Commissioner Rowena Guanzon, a very fiery commissioner from the Commission on Audit before. Siya po ay talagang palaging napag-uusapan bilang isa sa pinakamatapang naming commissioners. No? She's an author of many books. She's an academic from the University of the Philippines. Nandyan din po si Commissioner Antonio Co. Si Antonio Co naman ay dati sa Department of Justice. Isa siya sa mga sa mga leading officials doon at dinala siya dito sa COMELEC noong I forget what year, no? But he's also retiring next year. And then they're joined, of course, by Commissioner Marlon Casquejo. a former COMELEC official who was promoted from within the ranks. So dati po siyang provincial election supervisor dito rin sa COMELEC. Siya ngayon ang in charge sa ating automation project. Kasama po nila si Commissioner Amy Ferolino. I'm sorry, before that, kasama po si Commissioner Socorro Inting, a retired justice of the Court of Appeals. Siguro hindi ko na madadagdagan yung qualifications niya kung sinabi ko yun. Ano?
Yeah.
We have also Commissioner Amy Ferolino, again, a former election officer from within the COMELEC, also appointed and promoted from within the ranks. And then most lately, we're joined by the former city prosecutor of Manila, si Commissioner Ray Bulay, who has very extensive experience in the legal system, in the justice system of the country. So ito po yung ating mga commissioners, very qualified po sila to run the agency, to undertake the quasi-judicial powers of the COMELEC, as well as the practical matter of running elections at the ground level. Very experienced po sila.
Good. Kasi si Elizabeth San Andres of Tondo said, curious lang po ako, paano po bumoboto ang mga officers ng COMELEC come election day? Nakakaboto ba yung mga COMELEC officials ng kasi busy sila running the elections? Anong
Kami po ay absentee voting po kami, pangkaraniwan. We vote ahead of time.
You're allowed.
Yes po.
Oo.
Yes po.
Oo. Tapos, how will the campaign from Johnny Gomez, no? How will campaign sorties election day look like under the new normal? Ito yata yung tanong. Anong election campaign?
Po,
kasi wala nang malalaking rallies, di ba?
Yes. Babawasan po natin yung malalaking rallies, and most of the campaigns will be online. Online po. Magkakaroon tayo ng mga e-rally na tinatawag. And then on election day, syempre, very limited ang pwedeng pumasok sa mga polling places, at nandyan yung health protocols natin, no? Mask, shield, plastic barriers, etc. Nandyan po lahat yan. But ang most important dyan is that access to the polling place will be limited to only those who are intending to vote.
Yeah.
Opo.
Alam mo, ang nakikita ko talagang streamers na all over the place, na sasabihin nyo certain areas lang dapat may streamer, talagang hindi nasusunod. Pero siguro dapat ang COMELEC in the area should remove those streamers if they're illegally placed. Parang ituturo. And I think we can use the radio to say, nakakita kami ng streamer doon. Tama ba yun? Doon nakalagay yung streamer. And I think you can be helped by people in media like us na pwedeng mag-SOS kami sa'yo para sabihin na may mga lugar kaming nakita na maraming nakapaskel na hindi dapat nakapaskel. From Mario Castro rather, ang sabi niya, let me get this. Mario Castro says, bakit po hindi nawawala yung issue ng mga patay na pero kasama pa rin sa registered voters? Palagay ko, nasa kaalaman din ng COMELEC kung dapat alam nila, merong mag-question na bakit nakaboto yun patay na yun. Di ba? That should be community. Community effort na yan dapat.
Yes po, dapat po sinasabihan ng COMELEC kung sino yung namatay, dahil hindi naman palaging na-i-inform ang COMELEC ng civil registry.
Yeah. So, very helpful yan sa mga nanonood sa atin. Kung meron kayong alam na patay na at nakaboto, questionably ito. Dapat ipaalam nyo sa COMELEC para ma-disqualify yung tao na yun na bumoto na ang ginamit na pangalan yung patay na kasi bawal yun. Diba?
Yes,
at ano naman
bawal.
ang penalty? Ano naman ang penalty doon?
Pagkakulong ng hanggang 6 na taon, perpetual disqualification from holding office, and fine of up to 60,000 kung hindi ako nagkakamali.
Yeah. Kita na, paalamin natin. Kasi kahit tumanggap kayo ng pera sa mga kandidato, hindi nyo ma-afford yung 50,000. Hindi naman kayo makakatanggap ng 50,000. Pambayad nyo kapag nagkaroon kayo ng kaso. At saka yung makulong,
Kulong.
sa tagal ng pagkakulong nyo, baka magkasakit na kayo doon at doon na kayo mamatay. Kaya nakakamatay ang pandaraya. Kaya wag na ho tayong mandaya kasi nakakamatay ho. Natutuwa si James sa aking pagsasalita nung kasi ang conviction ko, kailangan maramdaman ng mga tao how serious we are to have honest, orderly, and peaceful election. To me,
Yes.
that's the only hope for our country. If we don't
Yes.
do something like this, we will forever be in a mess. And I think talaga naman, kitang-kita mo, kapag a constitutional commission like COMELEC will not will not be front-acting and indicate the message na this will not be allowed, I think napaka-importante ang papel na ginagampanan nyo. I don't think, do we still have time, Johnny? How much time do we have? Ito pa. Natanong na to, no? From yung Mario Castro of Makati, bakit po hindi nawawala yung issue ng mga patay? O tapos na natin yun. Basta dapat i-report na may doon sa lugar na yon may bumoto na patay na. So, we have 3 minutes, ang mga reminders mo na lang, James, reminders mo ng ano yung hindi dapat gawin at ano yung dapat gawin. Unahin natin yung hindi dapat.
Napuputol ako. Yes po.
Yes, go ahead. Anong message mo? Because we have
Ang hindi
3
dapat,
minutes.
oo. Opo, ang hindi dapat, una, huwag tumanggap ng suhol, huwag tumanggap ng vote buying money. Number 1, that's number 1. Huwag tumanggap ng bayad. Number 2, huwag magkalat ng fake news. Ingat-ingat po tayo sa mga nakikita natin online. Hindi lahat ng nababasa natin ay totoo. At kung hindi naman natin masisiguro na totoo nga yung binabasa natin, ay huwag na nating ipasa. Huwag na tayong magkalat ng fake news. At number 3, make sure na bumoto kayo sa araw ng halalan. No? Napakahalaga po, registered nga kayo, maingay nga kayo sa social media, nagagalit nga kayo sa corruption, hindi naman kayo boto. Baliwala lahat ng bumunta. Right?
Sa totoo lang, matagal na si James dito sa COMELEC. At kumbaga, alam na niya.
Kaboto para siguro sa atin.
Nakakatakot dito. Baka parang sa internet, nawawala yung boto. Yung boto ng mga tao, hindi nabilang. O kaya yung boto ng mga tao na wala. Sana wala na yung nakawan ng mga ballot boxes. Wala na dahil ano na yun eh. Diba computerized na. Nasa computer na. So nanakawin nila yung computer mismo. So anyway, sabi ni Johnny, final words na daw ako. Ang effort natin ngayon is to make sure that the people know what they ought to do these coming elections. It is the right of every citizen to be able to vote and vote well, because that is the only time we can say that there is hope in our country. Honest, orderly, and peaceful elections. We will come back. We will ask James again to come back when there are issues reflective of the people's concerns na ibabandilyo natin sa kanya para masagot. Pero COMELEC needs our help because COMELEC can only do so much. We, the people, must be the voice of the people. Maraming salamat, and also the voice of COMELEC with proper information. Maraming salamat sa inyong pakikinig, at hopefully kung merong mga issues tayong ibabandilyo, ibabalik kay James, maanyayahan natin muli siya. James, thank you very much for coming on this special day, and we hope maraming nakaalam kung ano ngayon magiging polisiya at kamay na bakal ng COMELEC para sa mga talipandas ng mga kandidato at mga supporters ng mga kandidato. Thank you very much, one and all.
The views and comments of the hosts and guests are not necessarily those of the station.